Let's talk about resistance. So resistance is a great way to work your muscles. We all need to build up our muscle strength. We need to stress the muscles in order for them to build up, and they actually tear down first to rebuild, and that's where we get more muscle strength, more muscle mass. As we age, I've talked about before, we lose our muscle strength periodically throughout each decade. So maintaining that muscle strength is a very important part, and most people don't really pay attention to that too much, except for the people that have been active in gyms and active exercising for many, many years. So the good news is that you can start resistance exercise anytime. You don't have to build up to it necessarily. You don't have to feel like, well, I've never been to the gym, I don't know what I'm doing. So I want to show you a couple simple ways and simple devices that you can use. They're very inexpensive. You don't need to go to a gym. You don't need to be in a fancy equipment that you're using. There's not a lot that you have to use except for some simple pieces of equipment. So some people like to use hand weights. That's fine. We'll talk about that in another video. But today we're going to talk about resistance bands. So there's a couple different versions of resistance bands. So for most of my career, most PTs have used these exercise bands. So they come in a roll. We cut them off in a certain distance or certain amount of length to be able to use for different exercises for various things, from arms to legs to all kinds of different creative things that you can do with them to provide resistance. So what's nice about them is each of the colors always represent a different amount of tension or resistance. There's a lot of companies out there that make these. These are latex free. I find that they hold up a little bit better than the latex versions. For a long time we had issues with latex allergies with patients, so we started going to latex free stuff for our equipment. And now most of what we have is latex free. So what's nice about these is they're pretty durable. Sometimes they will dry rot if they're sitting around for too long, but they're pretty durable. And even if you use kind of a mid-range resistance, which this green one is, you can still change the amount of tension on it based on how tight you tie this off. So if I keep it close to me, I can have a lot more resistance than if I keep it further away. So you're not going to max out on resistance that quickly, even if it's a lighter tension. So over the years, things have morphed with our bands and different exercise resistance that we use. And now what we have is a lot of different variations of different resistance bands. So the tubing, these are also very commonly used. These are also very nice to use. They have usually clips on the end, which you can put on handles to be able to do different arm exercises, different attachments that you can use for legs to put in a doorway. So these are one version of the bands. Again, they come in different resistance, different tension, different thicknesses. And then what I found recently that I really like, because I found the tubing was starting to kind of wear away and would break a little bit more quickly, I found these that I really enjoy, and I like these a lot. These are lasting a lot longer. So again, different tensions, different colors correspond to different tensions. So these are fabric coated, so it's the same type of material underneath, but because of the fabric, it seems to hold up a lot longer and stronger. So most of these all come with different devices. So this device here is a little slip that goes through your door. So you can put this right around the outside of the band. You open your door up and you put this in the door and close it, and it holds tight against the door. So now when I'm using that, I can pull against the outside of the bands and do any kind of exercise I want. Most of them will also have handles that you attach to them that you can pull off with. They also have leg straps that come with them. So if you're doing the leg strap, the easiest way to do this is to do the door. Put this on, clip it here, and then you put this around your leg. And now if I attach this through the door, I can now do different leg exercises pulling on the tension on this. So there's a lot of variations that you can have with this. That's why the bands are really nice to be able to use. These type of tubing you have a little bit more variety with because you have handles, you can pull on them. Very similar to these bands as well. If you put this through a door, you can pull both handles and do a lot of different upper body arm exercises with them. You can tie them off and do leg exercise as well. Then they started coming out with these tubes, or loops, I guess we'll call them. Again, they come in a latex or elastic style. And again, these I found, they all come in different tensions. I found these also break a little bit quicker. So again, going back to fabric, found a set that now is all fabric. So in my personal opinion, I prefer the fabric tension bands along with the tubing that is covered in fabric. So the fabric design is just really more helpful. It holds up longer. It's not tearing as quickly and easily. I'm finding it's much more durable, especially for the use that we have here in the clinic. So if you're at home using them, you might be fine with some of the more non-durable kinds. But if you want to use something that's going to last a little bit longer, I would go with the fabric type. What's nice about the fabric type, again, is you can do these with your arms and do different exercises, just pulling out with your arms, doing different directions. You can wrap them around your leg and do different exercises with them around your legs. So I can stand back and I can, do different leg exercises with the resistance on there in different directions. And I don't have to really worry about tying it off anywhere to a table leg or a bedpost or anything else. I can just do it right there around my legs. A lot of times we'll have people tie these around their thighs as well, do different leg exercises with them. So they're really versatile. And what I like about them is, again, you can use them for your arms, you can use them for your legs. There's lots of different variations of exercises that you can do with them. So pick something for resistance, figure out a plan, and I'll show you another video soon on some different exercises that you can do with them.